Commissioner. You should. Yep. Treasurer. Secretary. All right. Member at large softball commissioner. Does everything. Amy.
Here.
All right. Member at large Glenn.
Present.
Village.
Here.
All right. All right. Did everybody have a chance to read the minutes? Previous minutes from last month? Yeah. As well did I. I'd like to make a motion to vote in the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. You good? Madam Secretary? All right. All right. All right, President's report. I would like to discuss future eval weeks and draft weeks. I tried a different routine this year, try to get it all done in 1 week, and I think it can still be done that way with a few minor adjustments. Our plan is, and we've discussed, I've been looking at the calendar and I have dates already picked out, but we'll go over that at a later date. We will do, I think this would be a better routine. Okay, so we'll do all evals on a Saturday. Okay, great idea. We'll do makeups if need be on the Sunday. We can do them for an hour. They always go by real quick on a Sunday morning. Next, that Monday, this is going to be the important day. This Monday, this is where I want to change. I want to have a meeting of board members, DDs, and people that have been in our league for a long time. And I want to sit down and go over every eval sheet, every request, everything, every coach that wants to coach, everything that was put in the system, and go on over and organize evals for Tuesday and Wednesday. I think if we do that, it will eliminate 99% of our headaches that we have at these drafts. There's no way the draft should go like they went. I just, and I'm taking responsibility on a lot of that myself. You know, when I see a cluster, we'll get through it, but I want to fix it and make it better. That's why I wanted to do the evals for a week, and I know it could be better, so this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to adjust it to make it better for everybody and be more organized. Okay.
That actually is a great idea because it gives one more day to get everything straight, like you're saying. It gives the secretary one more day and whoever's doing it to get a handle on everything and
Yes.
get it ready. And then you can actually, if you want, do drafts Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and do two sections.
No, well, the end of the week, this is what I want to still do. I still want to have the managers meeting Thursday night at the rec center. Friday night, do the coaches meeting. Saturday practice start with no interference. They start at 9 a.m. Get going, you know. So we can do the coaches clinic on that Friday, equipment handout all on that Friday. Coaches are ready to go for their practices on Saturday.
That makes sense.
Did you say you wanted to include board members, DDs, people in the league for a long time, and managers at that meeting?
No, just people that have knowledge of the players, like say Tony Canales. He's been around a few years. He knows the players. He might not be on the board yet or involved. He's a DD.
Okay.
Or, you know, like Gary. Gary's, why not get his advice? He's been around I've noticed him around here for 3 years. You know, he knows these players. I just want to get these drafts right. I want to get it right. I want these teams to be right. I want the requests to be, you know, we never guarantee requests, but if a kid is dependent on, you know, if there's no other way he's going to get to the ballpark is from another parent that's really good friends, why can't they be siblings? You know,
They can.
huh?
They can.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But But we got to get it right. We didn't even know who the siblings were at the drafts. You know, we were going halfway through the drafts, and oh yeah, these two are siblings.
We're just trying to avoid the cluster that happens after the fact of having to swap 2 kids from this team to this team and trying to make it work, because then everybody's like, well, he shouldn't have been a 3rd-round player, and you're saying I have to take that from my 3rd round. Trying to avoid all that mess. So I think it would benefit all of us, and you know, take away all that cluster after that you've been dealing with for the past couple of days.
Yeah.
We're still staying with no parent tells us what team they're going to play on, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
It's not to control what players that you want to have on your team, whether it's the same 4 or 5 that you want. It's to benefit the kid. That's what we're looking at doing.
And listen, and Miguel's going to indulge in the 8U topic that happened, okay? And when he gets to that topic, we followed our rules. We tried to get them to have a manager's gentleman agreement, and they couldn't do it, so I went right back to the rule. I stepped in and I said, we're following our rules. What do our rules say? Okay, so and we went that route, and this guy quits. You know, I stuck.
I got to hear this.
Yeah. But my point is we have to follow our rules. We have to. You know, and that's what they're there for, and we follow them. You know, so we're not going to give in to anybody, you know, threatening us. I've come across that a few times. You know, I'm going to quit because my kid's not on this team. No. Sorry. Okay. I'm not going to be held hostage. We're trying to run an organized program here, and you telling me what to do, and you know I'm going to do. Okay, then go play soccer. You know, I'm sorry. So, and I do appreciate everybody's work. You know, and you know, it was a lot of work this last week, but we got through it, you know, and I'm trying to put the dates out as soon as possible so everybody knows about it when it is, if they have to make work arrangements. I know this is a busy time for a lot of people, and I wasn't expecting. How's your dad, by the way?
No,
I'm sorry to hear that.
but thank you.
But, you know, it's the busiest. I would try to do it all in 1 week so it's over with. You know, I do feel relieved that it's over with and teams are practicing and, you know, getting going. And then, you know, and another thing is, you know, we'll talk about concessions when we get there, but, you know, concessions is on my plate right now until we get it going, you know, and I feel very confident that it will get going and it's going to be a good year. Just with a few minor changes. That's pretty much all I got. You know, we'll keep on trucking along. Vice President report.
I also want to say thank you to everybody. I know there's a lot of work going through the beginning of the season, and everybody's running around with their chicken with their head cut off. So thank you guys for everything that you do. Umpire clinic happened last night, finished. It was quite interesting to see. Danny had various age groups. There's a lot of new umpire faces that I saw out there, even for the younger group for T-ball. So that'll be good to have. We're still waiting on some equipment to come through from Chevrolet. Should be having it hopefully this week, and we'll be able to pick that up, and we'll have more to distribute out. With that, I want to go into sponsors. I know there's a lot of people that bring in extra sponsors to the park, and that helps out with a lot of the other teams that don't, which is great. But I want to get back into having some of those banners put back up at the park. I think it's a great benefit for, you know, some corporations that want to get their name out there. It'll help us take in all that extra revenue to kind of help us purchase new things like equipment and other necessary things to have. So Miguel, if you can push that out to the DDs again. I know Amy sent out an email today, thank you, asking about that, but if we can have the DDs head that with their managers and just ask them like, hey, if you see anything, let us know. We'll get you the sponsorship form and, you know, go that route. March 20th is... You okay? Oh. I'm sorry.
I got a few emails already about people that are interested in doing the banners. Rafael Morera, which he's been around our park for a while, he wants to do a banner. And then Elizabeth Poyette, Poulette, She is requesting more information on it. And then another lady just sent us back our email, so I'm not really sure what she's doing, but I'll figure that one out.
No, that's fine. I mean, that's great. It starts there, but I mean, let's be realistic. Once the season starts, there's some that really don't look at their email. But I mean, that's a good start. It starts there, and that's great. But if we can have some other people push it too and push the issue and just ask, you never know what you're going to find. So thank you. All-Star tryouts, we're going to do it before spring break this year. We're going to do it on Friday, March 20th. Time will be determined once we get closer. But I also, this year, I would like to try and have at least a board member or DD who's ever available at every tryout.
The 20th starts spring break. Like, there's school that day, but people usually leave, like, right after school, just so you have a heads up. I would recommend the
do we go
13th.
Before, go the week before.
The 13th.
So then let's do the 13th then.
I just looked it up.
That's
so I
fine.
was waiting for you to get there.
13th is fine.
And how is the all-star selection going? I mean, is it the same thing? 5 players from each team? We're gonna ask the managers, like, how are you? That's how we,
Whatever, I can't remember.
I think that's how we do it. We want
Is
them
that
to,
how we did it last year?
yeah, they can give a max of 5 or something like that. And
5
at
from
least
each
3, a
manager.
max of 5 or something like that from each team.
Yep.
Comes from the managers.
Okay. I say do the same thing. 3 to 5 players max. Recommended from every manager. And then if the kid shows up to try out, then we'll go from there. Training. Keith, do you have a record of who did all the training last season from spring and or fall?
Coach-wise?
Yes. All right. Dang.
I have a spreadsheet.
You do have a spreadsheet? I was going to say, okay. So let's go off that spreadsheet and still have it, and then we can add to it.
I've been sending the DDs texts saying, please give me all your coaches' names. Everybody that plans on stepping on the clay, give me their names. I've had a few people give me theirs, but not,
I think 15 you sent all those rolls.
yeah.
So, were you talking about, like, who did, like, the coaches training?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think
Because I think it was both of your emails last year, right?
The spreadsheet
Yeah.
needs to have the background checks,
which I can do that. The background check is
the coaches card,
Yeah.
concussion training,
Right.
training, and the abuse.
Abuse awareness.
Yeah, which the from what I understand, it's posted on the website, which is great. But I had a few people say they were having trouble with clicking on the link. It doesn't bring them to where it's supposed to. It's not working. So I don't know if we could
When
take a
I
look at
click on
that.
it, it brings me right where I need to be, so maybe they just don't know where they're supposed to be.
Can we send a link out to everybody?
Well, there is a link on the website. That's the thing. That's why I keep telling them. I had to ask Miguel today. He told me where it was, and I sent it to 2 people, and one got it. The other one says it brings up to something. He tried it on his computer, tried it on the phone, and it's not working. So I don't know if that was just a glitch or.
It was probably just a glitch, because when I click on it, whether it's my phone or my computer, I tested them before I said anything that they were live.
Okay.
Now, the concussion and the abuse are just one-time things, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And Babe Ruth coach's card is a one-time thing. Nays you have to redo every year or 2 years.
You just
depending
have
on
to
how much you
pay. You have to pay the
Yeah.
dues.
So I did the abuse thing in last spring. Good? Yeah, that's what I was making.
Yeah, but no, everybody has to do the concussion.
But if I send you an email or send a coach an email saying, hey, I don't have a copy of your thing, then you have to resend it to me because I don't have a copy of it.
Yeah, because this comes important with
I don't know who, I think Chris Birch was taking care of that spring with,
Wasn't it in our All-Star books? though?
not the abuse awareness.
well, now that's a requirement.
Rolf did it.
Rolf did it. Somebody else was doing it, and I have his original spreadsheet from when he started, and I've been adding and updating it as like a continual thing.
Yeah, because that's a big thing. Come to All Stars now. That's a All-Star book requirement is to have that abuse training course in that book.
Oh, so they have to print out their certificate for the book, okay.
Yes. Along with the background check, and it's supposed to be a level 2 background check, which
That's what
That's-
we do.
Yeah, we do
Okay.
criminal and
okay,
kid abuse or sexual abuse.
gotcha. Okay.
But no other kind, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Those are the two it specifically says. I don't know what else.
but-
It doesn't check your credit
Yeah,
score.
I want to push that hard this year, especially at the beginning. I know I have a couple coaches on my team that needs to do it as well, But it should be easy for the most part because I know we pushed it real hard last time. But I just don't want to wait till the last minute before opening day to have to ask somebody for their stuff.
Have we updated the link to say that they have to do the concussion training? Like the page that it's on?
The managers were told at the managers meeting.
Is it on expectations?
I have no idea. I didn't.
I don't think it is.
Just the thought to put it on there so they know to do.
It's the same
concussion
link as the
protocol.
other stuff, so it'd be redundant.
I know that, yeah, the concussions in the
Cal-
names.
No, I don't mean the
Concussions
link
in the
itself, I
names.
mean like.
You actually gotta click in and
paragraph on
look
there
for
that
it.
says what they have to do.
No, it's just a bunch of links.
Oh, okay, never mind, sorry.
All right. And then the scorebooks for All Stars has to be 9U and up only.
What?
No rookie,
Oh, books,
They
yeah.
don't have to turn in their books. Yeah.
no Rick.
Did either one of you, I was unable to attend that meeting, which I can always ask Mike, but is it acceptable if someone does Game Changer and not a physical book, or does it have to be a physical book?
I didn't ask.
I
I'm
didn't
sure it's
ask.
okay because that whole park uses game, the gardens, that's all they use. I think okay.
Because if they have instead of them having to turn in a book to me, if they're doing Game Changer, which I think is a great idea, then we can print it if we need it. But if we don't need it, then it's not extra crap that people are carrying around. Because I end up with those books in my closet. I still haven't thrown last season's away.
That's fine.
So.
And then last thing, we have that new sling. I have to get there's a kit, I guess, that Steve Powell came out with. He's the creator of the new sling for 8U. I have to email him, and he's supposed to send it free of charge. And then once we get that kit, we can use that
And
sling.
that's gonna go to
8U,
8U All-Star team.
because they have to use it in All Stars.
If we're gonna have 2 8U teams, we need to buy one,
Invest in one. And that's it for
which
vice.
we will be investing in before the fall season.
And that's it for the vice president report.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. Treasurer, you're up.
Oh, it's weak. I didn't haven't entered anything for this month. I mean, it's just don't really have too many expenses or anything. But got about like 30 grand in the bank, and we still have a bunch of the sponsor checks to come in. So I know last year we started with like 24 grand. So you know, already in better shape, and we still got everything. How many teams? Say, I don't know, 350 what time? I mean, I don't know. If we got another 20 teams, that's 7-8 grand. So that's where we're at. We're still. I don't. You might have sent it to me. Did you send it? Okay. We still owe the. I just haven't looked at it.
Do you have a check on you by any chance?
I can get one. Wait, what's it for?
I wanna pay Steve
Okay.
I don't.
before they kick us out of the fields and never let us back.
That's the only thing. I know we owe that, and that's about it right now. And I had found, I know I told you, I had found these, like, just the other day I was kind of looking through old stuff. I kind of want to start, like, I can't tell you how many, like, biddings and crap I have in my house. From the, you know, and I started scanning some stuff, and I found it wasn't that old, 16 or 17, but I found, like, a sponsorship form, and it was like, you know, we sent money, we sent it out, and I got the names of the people that actually gave us money, and they weren't for team. They just gave us $700, $1,000, stuff like that. So I've got the people that did that gave us the money. So I want to make something else, send them. Then I've gotten a few other people just like they donate to not-for-profits and stuff, and send stuff to them as well. But I did find like this little form, and it was like $700. You got this, $1,000. You got. Like
I need that form ASAP. If
like I said, I found it the other night.
I need it for tomorrow, if you can get that to us.
I'll grab it.
I know we had one. I just couldn't find it.
Oh, dude, I mean, how I found this, I don't. You know, it was complete luck.
Amy was supposed to make me a new one, and she never did.
No, and then
I'm sorry.
Playing with fire.
No, I have a meeting. Well, we have a meeting tomorrow with the Elks Lodge for a donation, and it could be a nice, significant amount of money. So I just want to have something presentable. You know?
Like what I was thinking was, like, say we could get someone. I mean, we told them $2,000 covers baseballs. You know, at the at the opening night, we could say, this season the baseballs are sponsored by this, blah, blah, blah. We could put something at the concession stand. But, if we could give them things like, we need to buy this, we need to buy that, and they give us that amount, that'd be a good thing. So anyway, but yeah, I got that. And I got a couple other things, not like last night, the concession stand was just crazy. And just like a couple things I need to go over, do it later. It's not treasure wise, it's just like team stuff and do it now and
New business, yeah.
new business. That's what I thought. Okay. And that's it.
Commissioner, here we go.
All right, so I'll go through division. I'll go through division and kind of everything that I've been working on. So before the season, finding managers, DDs gladly, all came back except for Casey, and thankfully Melissa stepped up. She took the lead, and I'm bringing the energy, reaching out. I'm trying to find new help. I'm trying to bring the energy to find new help because we need it. So just one day at the fields, having a conversation with Gene, and he's like, yeah, I was telling him, how tired I was and everything that I was going through, like talking to everybody, looking for managers, how stressed we were, looking for a 15U manager. Thank you, Kyle, for stepping up, and just finding managers at every level. So he was like, hey, I'm ready. And he's a person that I know at the fields mostly all the time. He cares about the kids. I know that he has had his incidents on the field. But to me, that's Gene. He's been around us for some years, and people love playing for him. So that has something to say. So he stepped in as AUDD, and he's done a phenomenal job so far. He stepped up, and he's really getting everything fast, getting the communication fast. He's handling things he can handle. So credit to Gene as a new DD stepping in. Before the season, wow. I was on the phone pretty much almost all day long talking to everybody. Everybody signed up as coach. I was on the list. I was following the enrollments, talking to everybody, figuring out who was coaching. I had my coaches list from last year. So for the most part, everything was flowing right. We had a couple holes here and there as the sign-up started getting bigger. Jump forward to evals. I think as far as evals on the field, I think it went well. We had managers were there, coaches were there helping out, people were coming in, they were flowing, they were getting the eval done. I didn't hear any complaints as far as, the eval process or how it was going. I even had some people actually liked it. We kind of sped it up a little bit. We still do need just a little extra help, eval day, maybe me trying to find more evaluators. Thank you guys, you stepped up. You guys pretty much did most of the evaluations. And just finding, more people to just come in and help us, in that day to free us up to do other things. But for the most part, eval, I'm glad we survived. We got through the week, and I think it went well. I haven't heard any complaints on that. What was I gonna jump to next? The one thing that I noticed with evals is we did have a lot of no-shows. There was quite a few no-shows. When we got to the draft, there was a lot of no-shows. So I don't know. Several people blowing me up. They didn't see it, so I don't know what was up with the communication. I have no idea. But me myself personally, talking to everybody, I was letting them know. Travel teams, I was talking to everybody like, hey, are you signing up? This is eval. So me myself, I know I put the groundwork for a good percentage of everybody that came out. Jumping past that, that's my only thing. Then I'll go division by division. So T-ball, we have 8 teams. I think that's a good number for spring. I know we used to be, when I first started, we used to be over the hundreds, but 80, I think we're getting there. I think it's a little more than fall. So we're getting there. A lot of new kids, new managers as well. Luckily, AA, I was able to find someone jump on late. She's a nurse. So we're kind of helping her out with the schedule. Being that there's 3 teams in AA, we could be a little more flexible with the schedule with her. So I've been talking to her and Jesse kind of working together. So she gets a schedule that fits her. She plays softball and, she wants to do it. She's excited to do it. She just knows that with her schedule, it's a little harder. In AAA, we have 5 teams. Choquette requested to play up, so I moved them up. Haven't heard any complaints as far as T-balls. They're getting going. They're starting their practices. Everything is flowing. I haven't heard anything from T-ball, so that's always got to be a good thing. So now we jump to 8U. 8U, we had about 60, it was about 61, 62 signups, so we decided to do 6 teams. So the draft, I wasn't there for the first part of it because I was finishing the softball draft with Amy, so I missed what the guys were talking about. I have no idea what they worked on. Their draft went, no problem. The day after, one of the new managers, Jared Drucker, posted to the thread, hey, I called one of my parents. They're upset and they don't want to play for me. They were under the impression that they were going to play for Coach Burrows. So initially, my first response was, let them know that they were drafted by your team, and either they play or that's it. They play or that's it. So I left it at that. That first day, he calls back and he's like, they're super upset. They're blowing up. They're threatening to leave or whatever. And I'm like, all right. And I think I ran this by you too. So that's not, we don't want anyone to leave like that. Let's see if we could work something out. And I gave him that day, I believe it was Thursday. I said, you and Billy get together. You have today, get it done so we can get all this stuff out and be done with it. So that was the first step. I said, you have that day to get it done. I called Billy and I called Jared on the phone and I spoke to them. I said, get it done so we can, everybody could have their players and be fine. So that was the first day. They couldn't come to an agreement. The next day, still the same thing. They're both going back and forth. There was no give, nothing. I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to call the parent in the morning, which I did on the way to the manager's meeting. And then I told the group, stay after so we can get this done and, better face-to-face. So I called the parents, the Austin Moore's parents, on the way to the manager's meeting. He wouldn't let me talk. He was just yelling at me. He was just very abusive and saying, hey, you're not letting my kid play, blah, blah. And some of the facts I got in the background was I was told that he was a strong player, but come to find out he really wasn't a strong player. He was mistaken by another kid. So I told him, I said, listen, the reason that it's a holdup is because, he's a stronger player, so that's a big deal. And he was like, well, how do you guys know my kid? This is his first time playing here. So when he told me that, I was like, oh, okay. So this is I'm getting bad information. This is incorrect. And I said, listen, I'm trying to work this out for you. And then he told me that he had reached out to Ed already the night prior to the manager's meeting. I said, listen, I'm going to try to get this done. And my goal was to have it done by the manager's meeting with everybody there. So speed up the manager's meeting. After we got together, but Billy's out of town. So he's not there, Billy's out of town. So we all get together because I wanted to get the correct background on these players. So I had the league eval sheet, and we went, and I said, it's got to be, round for round. So we all agreed, and we looked at the evals. I was like, in order to trade him, Billy had to give up either this player or this player. So that's where I left it at. Now, I told them I have to call Billy because he didn't answer, to agree to it. He did not answer when we spoke about it, and I said, listen, I'm going to get with him, let him and see if this works and we can get it done. But Jared was under the impression that was a done deal. So when I finally was able to talk to Billy after the manager's meeting, and he's like, no, I'm not trading those guys. And he was in the position of that the player that was drafted at third is a lower player that shouldn't have been a third round, or is not a third round player, and that his players are higher, and he didn't want to take he didn't want to trade them for whatever, so forth. That was his position. Now Billy was organized, he had the information. Now Jared, on the other hand, he was all over the place with his information. So fast forward through the weekend, I'm talking to both of them, still trying to get this done. Nothing. Finally, Monday, I'm like, yesterday, I'm like, I want to be over with this situation. Ed jumped in the thread. Ed said, listen, you guys get it done round by round, or that's it. We're done, because we were both getting frustrated with these guys going back and forth, and there was no give. None of them were giving no give. So my intention was, and for one, I'm never going to do this again. That's never going to happen again, because I'm never going to allow it, and we're going to cover it at the draft. I wasn't at their draft. I wasn't able to cover it, but my thing is, why can't two guys, come to the agreement to get it done. If you want that player, do what you got to do to get your player. And on the other side, if you know that your player is not, not strong, like, just make it happen and move on. Let's play baseball. Like, let's be done with it. We're talking about one player. And I tried to explain that to him, but it wasn't working. So Jared went ahead and even called the player that was discussed as a possible candidate for the trade, talked to his dad, and they did like a coaching course together, and he was blowing me up the whole weekend about it. And I said, look, it's not a done deal. Like, until he agrees, like, we can't do it. So fast forward Monday, we had a late add-on that was supposed to be a pretty decent player. And we said, look, we give you him, let's move on, and let's be done with it. As soon as I told that to Jared, he said, no, I'm not. He said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm quitting, I'm leaving, like, this is ridiculous. So he got all upset, and I'm like, I'm trying to get this resolution for you, but nothing that we're doing, you guys can't agree, and then we're trying to give you something that's a little more seamless, where we can give you a late add-on, and you can move a player that doesn't want to be on your team, that's not going to be on your team, and let's move on and let's play. That wasn't enough for him. He was upset, he was blowing me up, he was blowing that up the whole day, so he ended up quitting. So fast forward to this morning. In reality, it was a blessing in disguise, because he was very dramatic. When he said he quit, me and Ed spoke this morning, and I said, look, I'm going to disband the team. We have a lot of open slots that we can get these kids to these other teams. Let's play with 5 teams and just be done with it. So that's what I did. So I took the whole team. I grabbed the eval sheet. I wrote down their rankings, and I dispersed them. I dispersed all of them. And I let Gene know, this is what we're doing. Let's get the word out. I spoke to Amy. We made the moves. Done deal. I called every single parent on that team. They were all happy, all ecstatic. There was players that went to coaches that they wanted to play for. We had one player who has like a behavior issue that was actually improved with Coach Tony last season, and now he's back with him. So they were super excited. I had another player say, oh, thank you. We love Coach Gary. And that's all I was getting, nothing but positive. They were all positive. They were all understanding. And they felt the energy from this coach, kind of how it started off good, and then it just kind of tailed down. Now, to me, I don't think that's a reason to step down and quit. I've had my fair share of freeze, drama, and whatnot, but I still kept going. I never said, hey, I'm going to quit or stop, because the main thing, we're here for the kids. So one thing I learned, you're here for the kids or you're not. So he ended up stepping down. He's getting his refund. I think he came today to stir it up some more and whatnot.
Yes, he came in, got his refund today. I took care of it. He wasn't happy because I took his $30 jersey off and hat. But that's the way it is. That's what we do. I honestly think after I got involved, I started doing my research on this gentleman and talked to a lot of coaches, talked to Tony, talked to a few others that have been around him. And basically, I think this is a blessing in disguise. There was an incident last year where the coach removed him from the field.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And there was an incident that we should have knew about last year that never got back to us. So I honestly think, and he gave me the whole Okie-Healy schmeal on his way out today, saying, I'm going over there. They got their stuff together, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, good luck. Good luck to you. But I believe it's a blessing that this happened. I believe all the kids that were put on other teams are very happy. Tony actually knew a lot of them and was in the process with you to do it, and they went on teams that they've been on before, and they were very happy with the coaches they got put on. So I think this was the right move, a good blessing, and he actually did us a favor. So
yeah.
I think we should leave it alone and move on and have a great season.
Yeah, so I'm glad that was done. That situation. Yeah.
I got a couple things. To me, just looking at it from the outside, because I wasn't involved in any of the discussions or anything, we have a parent that told us they had to play with a certain coach, and they probably ended up with that coach. We said we weren't going to do that. Now we have 12 kids on a team. We have more kids sitting on the bench. Had we not had one of the other parents step up on that same team and pick up as a manager,
We did try. We tried that
I'm
first.
saying,
Yeah.
I'm saying
Yeah.
you're given the persona that I can say what team I can play on. Because we weren't going to do that, and we just did it.
But when I stepped in, that's the way. We were trying to give him a chance, but when I stepped in, that was what I left it at, and I have all the documentation to prove that I did so. Because I save everything. That this is the way it's going to be. Okay, these are our rules. Go back and we're already breaking our rules by doing it outside after 15 minutes after the draft. Okay, you guys couldn't come to a conclusion, so this is where the rosters are staying the way they are. We'll add players onto your rosters if need be. And he quit.
Didn't work out that way either.
No, I think all the avenues were approached the way they should have been, and it wasn't going to work out regardless. So,
And we asked.
this went on
this
what,
is just me
4 or 5
spitballing here
days
for future because this is a done deal.
Yeah, yeah.
We approached as all the other teams, and none of those assistant coaches would have made a trade to become a manager on this team. You follow what I'm saying?
Yep.
That just for the future.
Yes. And listen, there was a lesson learned here too. For we just got to stick to our guns, and we had tools to offer Jared. Gene was willing to help him, coach with him. There was a lot of tools. I would have stepped in whenever I needed to help him out. I know I could have went to his practice and got volunteers out of the stands to help him with this team. He was just using an easy way out. He wanted that other kid because his dad was a coach. Bentley, the kid that he was going to trade Burrows for. That was another stipulation. I mean, that's another reason why I was upset. Well, you take, yeah, but the point is, you drafted your team. He wasn't on your team originally, so I didn't take any coach away from you. Okay, your roster is the way it is because you guys couldn't have come to an agreement.
Oh, the gentleman, like I said, I'm trying to straighten it out.
Yeah.
The gentleman that quit was the one that his parent wanted to be on his team?
No, the parent wanted to be on a different team.
No. The parent wanted to be on a different team. And the kid that we were going to trade for the even trade to the other team, he was going to help Jared coach. But Burrows wouldn't let him go. So, and then he's throwing it at us saying, we took his coach away from him. No, we didn't. You never had that coach. You drafted your team. And he wasn't part of it. That Bentley kid wasn't part of your team. So, if it all comes back, this is the way it was,
Yeah, no, we're good. I mean, and the thing, looking at it again, is you lost one player.
That's it.
So if that person said, I play on that team or I leave, you still lose that player.
Correct.
In the future is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You just, bam. That's because you may lose a player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It all
We
washes
can't be afraid to lose players and we can't be held hostage by anybody. Bottom line.
Jared also, just so everybody has the information, went as far as bad mouthing us to his sponsor.
Yeah.
In an email that he CC'd us on.
Yeah.
So I will be reaching out to his sponsor to let them know that this is not the way that we
Yeah.
behave and we act and whatever. And it was very unprofessional of him to even do this.
Yeah.
And to see if they still want to sponsor a team.
Yeah.
It sounds like in this instant, you're absolutely right. It was a blessing in disguise. I probably would have been in his bleachers.
Yeah, so big picture as our league, we need managers and we need people that step up and want to stay with our park. I mean, this scramble every season of finding new bodies is getting harder and harder. And, me even getting him to come up, and I saw that he was an assistant coach last season, that's, this is what reflects on us. Like, this is big picture. Like, this is what we need as a park. And I'm thinking of rec, we need it. A couple things, background of this, before I got there, they had a gentleman's agreement on this kid who is not a high level kid, and he still went ahead and picked him. He could have drafted the kid that he wanted, Bentley, and been fine. So he had no plan going into his draft as far as coaching, because he even said that he had that kid on his team last season. So he could have we wouldn't have had no situation. He could have just drafted the player that he wanted. But the blessing in disguise is this season, I'm almost 100%, he would have been an issue. It would have been an issue. And I feel it. The way he talks, the way he was talking to us and me, and the way he started off like calm and polite and then just flipped the switch, like completely fits his profile from the background that I've been getting on him. So one thing I learned is right. I'm never going to do that again. And they need to be explained at the draft. You have 15 minutes to get it done. And if you don't get it done, it's done. And if a player don't want to play for you, we're done. If they leave, they leave. Like, we just have to roll with that to avoid all this extra nonsense. So that's what I got from that situation. But I think we're all good. I'm excited for the rest of this. I'm excited for the season. 8U's in place. So now I'll move on to 10U. All right. 10U's another 10U. For the most part, it went smooth. My thing with 10U is, I don't know if I'm supposed to be in charge of how many teams we have or who's in charge of saying, okay, we're going to have this many teams. But after evals, we had 60 signups. So I had 5-6 managers on the bubble, one that ended up leaving. Jumped that same night, it just jumped to like 70-something signups. So now we have 10U where everyone has, 12, and I think one has 13. It's not ideal. I think we could have had 7 teams. So that's just one thing that we should discuss, like maybe in the meeting that you're talking about, Ed. That's the only thing that I really would say from 10U is I would have liked to see 7 teams rather than 6 loaded teams, because I had to play that last season. It's not fun. It's hard. You got kids sitting. You got parents watching. So that's one thing to keep in mind for 10U. And the travel team, they didn't know when evals were, and they didn't know until I reached out to them and told them, hey, what's up? What's going on? When are your kids signing up? So that's one of my things with 10U.
So with the evals and all that stuff, when I send out an email, it only goes to people that are registered. There's no way for me to really email people that aren't registered.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
unless they've registered, I put it on Facebook, but unless you're on Facebook, you're not getting the information. And there's no way to really correct that other than I really just don't know.
That's really the hardest thing to do, Miguel. I mean, you can hope, you can kind of guesstimate. I mean, we tried it this year to do everything we could to get kids to sign up early, and we were still slammed on nights of evaluation and people signing up. There's just some people that are going to wait till the end. There's nothing you can do about it, and, it's unfortunate. Yeah. I don't like seeing that many kids. The most you want is 11, really. Yeah. But, it stinks. I mean, I think maybe sometime here in the future, especially for next spring, we get more involved with these travel coaches on commitments on what's coming in, because I think that was a big factor as well of a lot of people signing up late. So that's not on you, man. It's really a hard thing to,
and
push out.
I'm still being asked to open registration to add people. And at this point, we need to have a date where it's stopped. Before draft or before once evals are done or whatever, we need a stop date, because now I'm adding people and now we're going to have to add extra jerseys, and it's going to turn into a cluster again.
I have an idea. Listening to Miguel, the baseball commissioner, I was going to wait for new business to make a suggestion because we are really blowing up. But I know you're talking about next spring or whenever doing the 4-day scenario with the managers meeting on Thursday. Is that correct? Okay, managers meeting on Thursday. Now just a suggestion. Let's put the managers meeting at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. So if we run into this same scenario, because next spring we'll hit with travel again, to help Miguel out so he's not dealing with all this later, if we have this come up, we push whatever age group got bombarded at the end to Thursday. You follow what I'm saying? For that hour before the managers, we have a cushion. If we don't use it, we don't use it. But we have the potential that if we get dumped with 70 players and we only have 5, we weren't planning on that we have another day, that hour before the managers meeting to put something together so we can be ready for it. Not saying it'll ever happen again, but if it does,
So do a manager meeting at 7, we meet at 6.
Yes, if we need to. It's there. And we say, listen, 8U drafts, we send it out as soon as we find out, 8U, 10U, 12, whatever. Hey, the drafts are canceled for tonight. We're going to have to do them tomorrow night at 6. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's got that week open anyway, up to Thursday, because they got the managers meeting. So potentially that window is there to avoid this, so you don't get this dumped on you, and we end up with 12 and 13 kids on the team. It gives him a whole nother day to contact everybody and try to get one more manager. All of us, really. We need to help him. when that comes, I was going to bring that up. During the season, we need to be approaching assistant coaches, and helping Miguel out, saying, hey, man, because I did it when I was doing it. You look like you're ready for managers.
It's just such a tough time, man. Everybody's coming off of holiday break. You're not getting a hold of the people that you were before. It's tough, and it is a lot for one person to do. So I know you said that you've had the same list. Most people came back, which is great. So maybe we take a look at that next spring, because the fall's a little bit calmer.
Yeah.
But spring, we take a look at it and we hit the ground running as soon as break's done as a group, and try to get these guys committed. A big thing is we still need a travel coordinator. I don't think we have one. So that would be a big push too, because again, dealing with the travel guys, coaches, managers, teams, it's a big issue, because they're looking at their schedule as well. So they're unfortunately, rec is put on the back burner until it's that time, and we're jumping down their throat. Hey, commit. But we're wasting time. So go ahead, Miguel.
Yeah. So just speeding up, that was a concern for me. Also, big picture, the travel and rec, the way the vision was sold to me. I don't know if it's completely flowing how we want it to flow, but at least the groundwork is there where we have the travel programs. Thankfully, a couple of travel coaches did step up to manage, so we're good to go. 10U. 12U is fine. 12U is good to go. It was another challenge finding managers for 12U, and I split up from my coach so she can take a team, because she does a great job. She works 2 jobs. It's hard for her, but she agreed to take the team. The draft went well. Thankfully, we have a manager that came over from the Acreage. I've been talking to him like every day. Very nice guy. He coaches football, so great fits. I think we have great fits. I've also offered new managers the help. I said, if you need anything, let us know. We have the resources to help, whether it's the divisional director, whether it's me, all of us. If you need the help, we don't want to leave nobody behind. We want everybody teaching our kids, the right way, which is what we're all here for. So speeding through 15U, that was another challenge. Finding a manager, and I contacted everybody. We had 3 teams, jumped to 4, and luckily, thank you, Kyle, for stepping up and taking another team. I know it's a lot, but at least we know that those kids, they're going to be coaching. They have a coach to play for. We're going to have 4 in 15U, which I think is great. Other than that wraps up my commissioner report. If anybody has any questions.
All our questions to the end.
Okay.
Thanks, Miguel.
Alrighty.
Softball commissioner.
Softball has a record number of 80 girls signed up this season. We have 3 12U teams, 2 10U teams, and 2 8U teams, which the 2 8U teams technically could have been 3 8U teams, but to make it easier on the coaches, it would have been 3 teams of 9, I think, and that's just too small to do. So we did 13 on each. I think it was 13 or 12 on each, because you're going to have girls are sick and girls that can't show up and whatever. So I'm really excited about that. We have a total of 404 players for everything, so that's a really good number. Softball, softball is going to get Field 3 clayed, hopefully by February 1st, or 21st, I'm sorry, and for opening day. And then everybody is excited about moving over to Farron. All the parents are happy about it and excited. The 2 fields that were reclayed look beautiful and great, and really excited about that. We're going to have all the softball. We're going to open the concession stand for softball. We're going to have the equipment room for softball with a special padlock key number thing that only the managers, myself, and Ed and a few others will have the number for. To where we can keep slings over there for 8U. And then I think 6U baseball is going to kind of share the fields a little bit with us. So that's what I have for softball. As far as registration, again, we have 404. Should I bring this up in new business about the fee? Or part of my registration? New business? Yeah. Okay. So everything I have is new business after that.
Thank you, Amy. Madam Secretary?
Just quickly, the kid who, was hit last night, did you talk to him?
Yes.
So he has a broken nose and a concussion.
Correct.
Okay, just in the future,
13.
did he just move up?
Yes, he came from, he's been off the last couple of years. He had flat feet. Yes, correct. So he came over from Wellington, actually.
Okay, so his level of consciousness was not one that we should have picked him up and walked him after he got hit. And so just in the future, if you have a kid that's like gonna flop like that, you really need to call like 911 or wait for him to get as steady as he was when he left on the field. He just wasn't in any shape to move at that point. I mean, he could have had a worse head injury that we didn't know about from getting hit that hard, and he had what they call standing nystagmus, where your eyes move back and forth and you're standing up, which is a sign of a big sign of concussion that medical people look for. So, I wasn't sure because I didn't see what happened. I just came out to help, but really, like, that concussion protocol is good, but just in the future, if you have a kid that's got lower level of consciousness, just leave them where they are until they're ready to be moved.
Maybe, yes. It would be something maybe we should send out to everybody.
Yeah.
Write something up nice and send it out to all the DDs to pass on to the managers.
Okay.
Anything else?
You're welcome. I'm sorry I wasn't there.
It's okay.
But I had to go home.
We understand.
Thank you. Thank you for
Village report, please.
Just to let you guys know, on May 23rd, the village is going to run like a program showcase. It's a Saturday to where we invite everybody out, and all of the instructors and people like that are going to like run like free trial classes. So obviously the primary providers, if you guys baseball wanted to come out there, you can,
Where's it going to be at?
it's going to be at the rec center. You can come out there. You don't necessarily have to do track class, but if you wanted to set up a table or something like that and give out information about, the baseball and whatever,
Do you guys already have a flyer? We can pass it out. No?
So, as soon as I do all that,
If you get me some for by February 21st, we can do that at opening night.
okay,
Also, I have gathered a bunch of gloves already for the...
awesome,
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah, I sent out an email for gloves, and since it's part of your report, I wanted to bring this up to you. I know you guys are, do this, the Special Needs League. Babe Ruth, the league that we're affiliated with, they actually do a Bambino League that has a lot of extras for them. So I didn't know if you wanted to look into that. Maybe even they could charter with us or under us as part of the Bambino League, because like they have Babe Ruth softball, Cal Ripken baseball, Babe Ruth baseball, and then they have what they call the Bambino League. So I didn't know if that was something that would be interesting. Like they give them more options and more things to more baseball to play.
Right.
So just an option. I'd seen it when I was digging through the website trying to figure out how to do all the stuff that I need to do now.
Okay.
So I saw it and I was like, ooh, I want to make sure I tell that to
I'll take a look at
you.
that.
Thank you. Old business? Sorry. I'm sorry. Old business. There is none. So yeah, we're good. I'd like to make a motion to vote in all the reports given this evening.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, new business. Opening night. That's our next extravaganza. We need to finalize everything. I know you did a lot of work to it already, but
Okay.
I just want to make sure everyone's on the same page about doing everything at Field 5 this year.
Field 5, yes. I'm still looking for a DJ. If anybody knows, the guy that we used last year is actually going to be doing, what do you mean no? He's doing Golden Grove's daddy-daughter dance thing. So we're still looking for a DJ. If anybody knows anybody that would be willing to do it for February 21st. Anybody that's willing to do it cheap or for free as a donation, that would be the best. We're not going to do Launch-A-Ball this time because, to be honest, it's not really cost effective. We actually kind of lose money on it. But we are still doing the silent auction, correct? With Scott's wife?
I will. She actually handed it over to Leslie, and I want to find out what the deal is on it.
Okay.
But we need
Unless
to
you
have.
can find someone to run Launch-A-Ball, because
I think we have everything for it upstairs.
Yeah.
we have things for Launch-A-Ball. It's just we have to get the donations and the items and the.
Oh,
That's
prizes,
the part of
gotcha.
it. That's very difficult.
What I wanted to, or what was brought up that might work in lieu of the Launch-A-Ball this year is, the lotto boards. Because that does really well. And you can do one or two of them. I'd do one. Where you lotto tickets and they're saved all over and you sell the tickets, and then if you win it, that does, every time we've done that because that really attracts people, because I guess there's a lot of gamblers out there. But
I would love to. That sounds like a great idea, but we're gonna make sure we have someone to man it the whole time.
yeah, that does, that'll do really well, I think.
Yeah, I'm in.
Are we doing home run derby this year?
Doing everything in one field, that would be fun.
Well, we can do the home run derby on the other fields. I mean, but I think we should. We should do something. I want the kids to have fun and everyone to have fun. So, more
Yeah.
games the merrier.
The issue with that now is going to be you're going to have to find a lot of people that are willing to help this year, because you're going to have a lot of people that are not going to be there.
Yeah.
Does that radar gun in there work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We do one, like they do. the
Definitely. Let's do a radar
That's-
station. Yep.
We did, yeah, that was fun last season.
Yep.
Just see how fast you can get or whatever. You don't have to have like a big prize or nothing for it.
Yep.
I don't even think we had prizes for it last season. They paid $1 to see how fast they were throwing.
Yep.
And the kids had a lot of fun. I do have the dunk tank coming back. I have Chick-fil-A is going to be one of the food things. Kona Ice is a food thing. The Dog It place is going to be the food thing again. A food truck. What's the Meatheads is going to be a food truck, and I think possibly that's all I have so far. I may be missing one. Oh, the Singh family, I was going to have them. They have a food truck. Krishan and Christopher Singh, their parents own a food truck. They couldn't do it last season because they had to go to Gainesville for Jasmine because she needed to go have a treatment done. But this season they should be in town, so I was gonna reach out to her and see if they could do it this season.
Perfect.
That was my fifth one.
Who is doing the speaking this year?
I guess I am.
I mean, we
Kyle, I
can.
need your speech from last season so I can just change the team names, please. Thank you.
It was in the,
Miguel, you can do some of it if
was
you
in the
want.
con-
I'm
it
up.
was in
I
the- it
don't
was in
care.
the-
Miguel's not gonna be there. He's gonna be at the daddy-daughter
Oh.
dance.
Am I?
How many people are gonna be not there?
Glenn, Keith, or Glenn, Kyle, and Miguel won't be there for the daddy-daughter dance. You weren't gonna be there anyways if you weren't going to Boy Scouts.
On the food truck thing, I keep forgetting to mention it, but Cameron's mom, Michelle, she works at McDonald's. She's a manager at McDonald's. She said that her director or her regional manager said that they want to bring a truck to the fields,
Oh,
a food truck
okay.
to the field.
I
So
didn't
if
even
it's
know
something,
McDonald's had field trucks.
yeah, me neither. But I keep forgetting what she's told. Every time I see her at the practices, she mentions it,
Yeah,
and not remember.
Okay.
So
so.
if you're interested, I can ask her or
Yeah,
have
she,
you link up.
tell her to message me on Facebook. We've talked a bunch of times. I know
Yeah.
who it is. I just sent her a form for taxes or whatever for the,
Start promoting this now as well.
yes.
I know I've thrown it out to my team,
Yes.
Twice, group me and meeting them. But if we throw it out there on Facebook and just constantly blasting it,
Yes.
make sure that, they know it's a night to have fun, not just come and see a speech and be done.
Yes. Also, I wanted to ask, since we're now talking about opening night, opening day, because softball is now at Farron, how are we going to work pictures and stuff with softball over there? I was wondering if it's not too difficult for just that day only, would it make more sense to just have opening day softball at Willows? Yes?
I'm fine with it. I
So-
mean, we're gonna have makeups too, because there's gonna be some teams that don't
Yeah.
have it. So if you want to do that way, it's.
I would
it's
rather
up to
my
you.
daughter have her fresh, clean stuff before
Okay.
she even plays a game, take a picture, than the hot mess that she becomes after her first game. Just a mom's opinion. Listen, I can show you some character pictures. I'm good. If I'm paying money for a picture, I want it to look good.
Steve, did we ever do the permit for?
I actually just texted Patterson today, and he's like, you need to get with Alex Vetter, which I've emailed her. She didn't email me back. So,
We did send it in anyway. But
oh, you talking about this?
For the opening day.
Yeah, he sent that in. I'm
Okay,
I'm
good.
talking about the parking. Sorry, I'm
Oh,
talking
okay.
about the parking.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll try to call her tomorrow and see if I can get somewhere.
Okay, thank you.
is that is that something different we need to do, or you got it? Or-
That's on.
Okay,
us.
okay.
I'll do all that, and then if they charge, I'll just say, hey, this is the price, and
Simple.
cut us a check, and that's it.
Yeah, we did that. Yes. Concessions, as you know, taking a little more role in it. Keith is also. One thing I need from either Melissa or Amy, I really need a detailed list and a binder of who paid concessions for every team. The $25 fee. Oh, okay, thank you.
Doesn't everybody pay it?
No.
No?
If you're scholarship, then you've obviously.
There's a few, there's a few,
Well,
But-
I don't know who all those kids are.
There's not many.
I've
She's got
already
it.
started.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I know 2 of them. I can.
Keep talking. You just add them
Okay.
to your list.
Listen, if we want to make this concession run, and still need to talk to Megan, I still need help from everybody. So if you have free nights and you want to help out the concession, more, yeah, more the merrier. I'm working for free, so.
And help at the softball concession
Yes,
too.
I'm volunteering my time. I've already made 2 runs to Gordon's and stuff over the last 2 days, and I'm already getting yelled at by my wife. So, anytime I'm eliminating the run thing with 2. I'm still in. It's gonna happen. I'm waiting on Steve to let me know about the Marigas, and he'll find out tomorrow. And the 2 biggest things is propane and Gordon's and all that, and I'm meeting with Cheney Brothers on Thursday to iron all that out. So it's gonna get easier, in the POS system. We're waiting on the internet still, or whatever.
It's on the list.
Yep.
When we get to it.
So it's gonna get easier there, and it's gonna get smooth in there. It's just, it'll get there. It's gonna take a little time. Yeah. We're trying to get new internet in there, so.
I think it's. I don't.
But-
I think it's. I think it's fine the way it is. I don't-
That's all I got. All right.
Rest we can go over later.
Yeah.
I just added a whole bunch of stuff to his list that I need to talk about. Yes.
I gotta.
All right, real quick, go ahead, talk about these
Okay,
issues.
so for next season, we talked about a price increase. It was kind of hard to do it for this season because we already had.
We never did it?
It was hard to do it this season. We did some of them because there was payment plans involved, and so we couldn't do it because of the payment plans. So I've increased the prices for next season, as well as from now on, whether we've ordered jerseys or not, there is a $30 cancellation fee. If you are not going to play at our park anymore, you're going to pay us you'll get your fee back, but it's going to be minus $30, whether you've got a jersey or not, because it's a lot of work
Done.
to do everything. So I wanted to put that to a vote.
Well, let's do it all. Okay, let's do it all at once.
Roger Dean Day is April 11th. Start pushing people to start buying tickets. I haven't gotten the tickets yet, but you can at least get a tally of who wants what. I just talked to Mike Moore. I'm starting the charter. I have to go in and change all the information because it still says the old board members stuff because we only do it once a year. So I'm going in and entering all the new information and getting that done. And as soon as I have a price, I will send that to the financial officers to get a card number so I can pay for that. Tomorrow, Farron will be rekeyed for a key for the concession stand, and a special digital lock will go on to the equipment door that only the managers and certain board members will have. every board member can have it, I could care less, but, Dave Mancuso is gonna make a cabinet to put balls and catcher's gear equipment locked up in, so it's not just out in the open for everybody to grab. And then so that's tomorrow at 4, and then Comcast will be at our park at noon tomorrow. I'm meeting them to see it's a survey to see how much it's gonna cost, and I already told them we can't afford anything, so, hopefully they'll just do it for free, and what it's gonna take to get the internet from the corner, basically Okeechobee and, Wildcat Way, to our park, to the concession stand. So we'll see what happens there tomorrow. And I think that's it.
I know one thing we didn't talk about is how we're doing, field directors.
I thought we decided that,
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
last one, the one before that, it was all the board members
Board members
and DDs.
Board members and DDs, that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
There's no
No
pay.
pay, and if you have a conflicting date, it's up to you to find another board member, or another DD to switch with.
Back to the
And
way.
we're not gonna have anybody assigned that is either coaching that day or their kid is playing a game.
If I am coaching, you can assign me. If I'm in a game, that's one thing, unless it's an emergency. I don't care. I used to get bothered all the time during my games. I'm fine with it. As long as,
Listen, I was a field director when I was umpiring a game. It happens. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as they're at the park,
yeah.
you know.
That's something we can work out, just make the schedule.
Okay.
Yep. And I'd like to make a motion to vote in the new $30 cancellation fee.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I got one more thing is, and I remember, I had this issue. Someone has 2 kids, and they pay 2 concession fees. I thought they were,
If they're
I
on
was
the
told
same
they're only
team-
supposed to pay 1.
If they're on the same team, they get one of their $25 back because they can only work the concession stand one time. If they are on separate teams, then they have to work 2 different concession duties.
See, I was told that you should not have to work 2 separate, and
Nope,
you should
if
get
you
your.
are on
that's
2
what I was
separate
told.
teams, because my daughter plays softball and my son plays baseball, I have to do 2 concession duties.
I lied to this lady then.
Okay. But if they're like twins on a team, or they're the same age on the team, or whatever, they happen to be in the same division and they're on the same team,
Now,
then they only
where
pay
did,
one
where
concession
did that
fee.
come from? You, or was that?
That was just the way it's always been done.
Well, because Chris Birch told me that if you have 2 kids, because I had it, that you only got paid 1. You only paid 1,
See,
but
Chris Birch told me the opposite,
I don't.
so.
I'd like to make a motion
If
to
you
close
have
this meeting.
2 kids on 2 separate teams, then you pay 2 concession fees, and you have because you're given an opportunity to get it both of those back. But if you have 2 kids on the same team, you do not have the opportunity to play 2 games, two
But
concessions.
$50 might keep somebody from registering their 2 kids.
I've never seen it happen.
Really? Okay.
Crystal clear, thank you very much.
I'd like to make a motion to end this wonderful meeting.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Opposed?